Hi everyone, and welcome to the Healer's Journey. Today we are going to be talking about your illuminated path. Of course, as healers on the Healer's Journey, sometimes we feel like we are walking through darkness. We don't know where we're going. We don't know who we are or how to recognize if we're going in the right direction. But I have a few tips for you on your illuminated path tonight. I'm Rosemary Levesque. This is my dog Gracie. I'm the author of Heal Together, Natural Health Solutions for Animals and Their Humans. And I am a certified vibrational sound teacher as well as Reiki Master Shaman, and would love to chat with you more about that and what that means. So are you on the illuminated path? And what lights your way? Of course, when we're on any path, we would like to have a little bit of light, a little bit of help along the way, and we have that. I'm going to recap a little bit from our last webinar, actually last two webinars, when we have a few slides that are the same. They're so important. I just want to drive this home. We are spirit having a human experience. We are on a soul journey. And as healers on the healer's journey, we must integrate our humanity with our divinity. We as humans want to connect being physical with being energetic. Who are we? Where are we from? Our purpose here on life, as many people are searching for their purpose, is our experience. That's it. We are here to experience life. We are building a higher consciousness, not just for ourselves, but for humanity, for everyone. I see you. I see your wholeness, your health, your light. I see that we are bound by a higher vibration and a sense of purpose. If we can say that every day, when we look at a person and we can say, I see your wholeness, your health, and your light, how would that change how you interact with other people? Are you stepping into a higher vibration and a higher sense of purpose when you really say, I see you? So let's talk about this illuminated path. Way back in the beginning when we first started doing these Healer Journey webinars, we talked about healing yourself first and working on healing yourself first. So that looks like awareness, just having an awareness of what it means to be self and working on yourself. Having a sensitivity and developing a sensitivity, exploring different avenues that you are interested in, perhaps even taking Reiki classes, as some of you who are listening tonight have participated in with us. We also offer sensory intuition classes, exercises, and workshops that deliberately focus on your skills, your gifts, and developing your intuitive nature. And of course, the Healer's Journey webinar. These are all part of your illuminated path. But if you are only doing that, if you are only becoming aware, wonderful. If you are exploring your sensitivity, or if you are taking, Reiki 1 and 2, or developing your sensory intuition, or even listening to the Healer's Journey webinar, it's a great start. It doesn't get you where you want to go, though, as far as what I'm seeing. So there's a longer path, a much more exciting version of where you are going. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Illuminated self is the very first aspect of what we want to discuss. And in the illuminated self, you want to develop self-care techniques. You want to ground yourself. You want to be aware of detoxification practices. In other words, what are you doing to get the chemicals out of your body, all the plastics and heavy metals. What are you doing for that? What are you doing to clear and release negative energies? What are you doing to clear your space and actually get rid of stuff in your space? How are you then creating your sacred space, your place, and how you want it to be and how you want it to look and how it feels energetically wonderful to you? You develop a sense of knowing where you are in the world and having a relationship with where you are. There's so many people who just don't know where they are, who they are, or where they're going. And when you're working on yourself, these are primary considerations. You need to know where you are. You need to be comfortable with where you are. And if you're uncomfortable, get out of there. Go somewhere else. And have a relationship with where you are. Have a sense of community and rightness of where you are. You want to feel embodied, safe, etc. You want to feel like you can be in your body. There's so many people I know who don't feel safe in their body, who are struggling to be here, even be here on this planet. They just don't feel right. They don't feel like they belong, either in their family or in their situation. They don't feel right. And of course, when you are working on yourself, you develop a sense of being in your body, feeling like you do belong. So illuminated self is the first part of the illuminated path. When you work on the illuminated self, you open the heart. You open the crown. You connect to earth energies. You connect to all that is. You meet your higher self. Have you ever met your highest self? In meditation, you might do that. You activate self to a greater sense of purpose. Let me go back to that. So the illuminated self involves all of these things, working on yourself to clear and ground, of course, but also opening the heart, opening the crown, and connecting to all that is. Have you ever met your higher self? Your higher self is really wonderful and is there as a guide for you. Activating your sense of self is it helps lend yourself to where you're going in the world, again, and who you are. So on the illuminated path, we talked about self, working on yourself first, and then when you have worked on yourself, then you work on your relationship to spirit. Now, there are many people who have this reversed. They work on their relationship to spirit, and then maybe they get around to working on themselves. That proposes a different plan for people. That's a different kind of path. But when you work on yourself first, you are not being selfish in the sense of arrogance or ego. You're not doing it for that. It's like washing the dishes before you get to eat off the plates, right? If you wash them first, then the plates are ready to receive that beautiful meal. So working on yourself first makes you the best possible vessel for connecting to spirit. The cleanest, the brightest, the most grounded, the best ready to receive spirit into your life. And you'll see why this is important. So working on healing yourself first, and then working on relationship spirit. You know, did you notice in here, I don't have anything about fixing other people. There's nothing on this list about fixing other people. There are many people I come across who want to learn Reiki or want to learn how to heal because they want to fix people. They want to go out and heal the world. okay, I think healing the world is an interesting proposition. However, it's much easier to get there, to get to a point of being in the world and realizing your sense of purpose when you work on yourself first. So this is where we always begin. Again, I'm reiterating what we have covered in webinars from, wow, months ago. When you are on the Illuminated Path, you develop many skills. So when you develop a practice, in other words, a daily practice, how do you begin in the world? Are you doing yoga? Are you preparing whole foods? Are you working on your skills that you have already learned? Are you meditating? Are you setting intentions? Are you using tools like crystals, essential oils, tuning forks? Are you using your talents and gifts, your wisdom, your organization skills? Are you doing all of those things? And when you do you also have a desire to grow, to manifest, and to become more? When you remember who you are, then you come into illuminated spirit. So I want to go back. When you do all of these things on your illuminated path, working on your skills, getting good at meditating, getting good at setting intentions, and using the tools you need to be in the world, then you start stepping onto the path of illuminated spirit. In illuminated spirit, you develop an interest in spirit manifested in physical form. I'm going to say that again. An interest in spirit manifested in physical form. Does spirit come into physical form? Absolutely. Have you ever met people who feel like angels to you? Have you ever held crystals that feel like they're buzzing in your hands? Have you ever smelled an essential oil that made you feel filled with joy? Then you have met spirit manifested in physical form. So if you're developing an interest in that, if you develop a desire for deeper understanding, a sense of purpose for leading the way, lighting the path for others, a sense of calm, inner power, inner knowing, all of these things, if you have an interest in them, if you are developing them, then you are on the path of illuminated spirit. Do you have do you express yourself, your true nature, as a light worker? Now, I save this for last on here because so often I find as we go out into the world, we want to express who we are, but we're cut off on the road, or somebody does something that could irritate us, or we get into an argument, or, if you're doing those things, then perhaps your true nature as a light worker could still use a little work, could still use a little help. I remember a conversation I had last week, a couple of conversations, different people. We're talking about how they were angry about something, or they were this is what it was. They were journaling about something, and they were talking about, what do you write in a journal? Oh, well, you write all the things that happen, right? You keep a record of what happens. And what kind of stuff is that? For those people I was talking to, it was, this situation, how I felt, how I cried, how, that relationship was. And it was, I put it under the category of stuff that you don't need. Stuff that when you take it from a thought and a feeling and put it onto paper as a physical thing, actually gives it more energy. That's not exactly expressing yourself your true nature as a light worker, is it? And so when they looked at me, I said, you know, I just don't write that. I just don't have that in my journal. I've never written stuff like that in a journal. What's in my journal is completely different. It's dreams. It's symbols I've channeled. It's insights. It's gifts from Spirit. It's noticing the beauty in the sacred geometry. It's noticing abundance. It's coincidences that fall into favor with who I am and expressing who I am. That's what's in my journal. And it's not, I'm not saying that to say, oh, I'm better than that. I'm just saying, notice where you are. How are you expressing your true nature as a light worker? If you're on the path of the illuminated spirit, then expressing your true nature as a light worker comes in the form of speaking your truth in a way that empowers you, makes you feel good, brings you joy, and connects you to spirit. So that's illuminated spirit. In illuminated spirit, we learn to work with animal guides, crystal guides, plant medicine. We learn how to journey in the shamanic sense of the word. We learn about active meditation and active manifestation. We work with advanced tools and symbols. We use sound healing in a different way. So that's illuminated spirit. In working with all of these things, does that interest you? Do you want to step onto that path that gets you in close alignment with the spiritual aspect of who you are? Finally, illuminated humanity. And this picture, I believe I've shown you in an early webinar by Adrian Salamander. This picture depicts from the dawn of time. If you're watching down at the bottom of the screen, as the spiral begins to move up, the creation of the earth, the beginning of microorganisms, plants, animals leaving the water to go onto land, the age of dinosaurs as we're moving up, the creation of primates and man. And then right there in the middle, at the green point, the end of the green point, is a person meditating with a tree. So it's very symbolic that this person is connecting directly to spirit. Now, immediately after that, it goes from green to crusty and parched, to desert, to falling apart, to actually burning in fire. We see the life of Christ, the crucifixion, and nuclear war, conflict, toil, suffering on that path. Now, I don't know how much we've talked about this before, but right there at that point where there is the juncture of the green, the person meditating, and the suffering that follows, there's a choice right there in the middle. And the choice is that humanity has chosen the difficult path, the one of suffering. That's what humanity has chosen. And it is always a choice as well for someone to not do that, to not suffer. In other words, to transcend. And in transcending, you're working with angels. You're moving into the angelic realm. Your body becomes illuminated, in other words. And I call this illuminated humanity. So we have three phases here. The first one, illuminated self, where you're working on yourself and you get yourself to the best possible place you can be. with detoxification, cleaning, grounding, being the clean, shiny vessel in order to receive all that Spirit has to offer, how to be in this world. The middle one, Illuminated Spirit, which is a connection to Spirit, an expression of your highest vibration. And I believe I used that term in a previous webinar, the expression of your highest vibration. And when you are doing that, when you are living your truth and you know who you are and you're connected to Spirit, then you can step into the third one, which is Illuminated Humanity. Because it is here in the Illuminated Humanity, if we have done the work, if we worked on ourselves and we've connected to Spirit, now we can be the person, the Spirit, who connects effortlessly, who doesn't need to suffer anymore, and who helps see the suffering of others and offering compassion, offering perhaps wisdom for those who are ready to receive, and perhaps becoming a leader or a teacher, leaving ego aside completely and just being. So these three phases are actually part of Illumination Reiki. I don't know if I've ever explained that before in such detail. Illumination Reiki is a complex, divinely inspired platform for illuminated self, illuminated spirit, and illuminated humanity. And we do offer this now in Portland and in Sedona. I'm just delighted to say that I'm working with Michelle, my daughter, who is a true expression of Spirit in everything that she does. And in Portland, we are having the class October 7 and 8 for the first two parts, November 4 for part 3, and a half day to be determined later. When we go to Sedona, we're squeezing everything into 3 days from October 27 to 29. So it'll be a fun-filled month for us. We would love to have you come join us for that. We are starting with Illuminated Self. Working on yourself. You would be attuned to 4 channeled symbols and work on embodiment techniques. We would also do a soul star journey and some pretty terrific shamanic blending with Reiki. IlluminationReiki.com is live and is existing. You can register there if you like and see our calendar. So I ask you now, as I always ask, where will your path lead you? Where are you going? What do you want to do? How do you want to be in the world? I would love to know. In fact, this is my request to you, my kind of surprise request. I would love to feature you. I would love to know about your journey, and if you would love to share your journey with other people, let's talk. And we'll see about inviting you onto the Healer's Journey webinar. The best way to reach me is through my website, secondnaturehealing.com or illuminationreiki.com. You can always email me, rosemary@secondnaturehealing.com. If you're not registered and you are watching this on YouTube or on my blog, just go to my website and fill in the information on the webinar page. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate you. Have a good night.